It wasn't all it was cracked up to be. Talking Baker Mayfield now. It was a performance to forget Sunday in New England for Baker. He was wonderful. It was the internship itself, which is not important now. Baker managed just 73 yards on 21 attempts before getting knocked out of the game with a knee injury. Head coach Kevin Stefanski said Baker is day-to-day at this point. You can add that to the list of bumps and bruises and breaks for Baker this season. It's resulted in just 9 touchdown passes in 9 games. He ranks in the 20s in all 3 major passing quarter categories. That's not great. So what does this all mean for Baker's future in Cleveland? Yahoo Sports' Charles Robinson recently published a column headline, "The Cleveland Browns may need to mull quarterback options beyond Baker Mayfield." Boom. So Broussard, I gotta ask, is it time for the Cleveland Browns to start thinking about other options at quarterback?
Absolutely. All right, this is not a conundrum to me. It's pretty simple. Yes, I'm looking elsewhere. Now, that doesn't mean I don't like Baker Mayfield. It doesn't mean he may not be my quarterback of the future. All it means is that he has not yet proven that he is definitely that guy. Unless you have a star, a legitimate star at quarterback, then you're always ready to upgrade. And what Baker Mayfield has proven, guys, is that at this point, he's a game manager with moxie. He's a game manager with swagger. He got his swag back. Oh, that's what he is. All right? He's Jim McMahon. He's Jim McMahon. Remember Jim McMahon? Jim McMahon was a game manager with amazing swag. And look,
so much.
You won a Super Bowl with Jim McMahon. You had one of the best defenses ever in Chicago and one of the greatest running backs, arguably the greatest, in Walter Payton. If you get that in Cleveland, and obviously Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt aren't the greatest running backs ever, but that's a great running game. The defense has not lived up to what it needs to be. My point is this: Baker has not yet shown that he's definitely the guy. So this summer, I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers. I'm kicking the tires on Russell Wilson. And if Deshaun Watson's able to continue his career, I want him. If I can't get one of those 3 guys, Nick, I'm letting Baker have a prove-it year on his 5th year of his deal. He's already signed up for it. And then if he doesn't prove it, then I franchise him. Like, there's no pressure to me. I don't have to just give him $40 million. He can't. What's he going to do? So, right.
No,
so I don't think it's a conundrum.
I agree with you, Broussard. I agree with you in that the Browns should be in no rush whatsoever to sign him to an extension. Maybe Baker's been his own worst enemy this year by being as tough as he is. You said he's a game manager with moxie. I would add incredible toughness playing through those injuries. But as we know in sports, you don't get credit for playing through injuries if you play through them poorly. He'd almost be better off if he had been knocked out for a month maybe, but that ship has sailed. Here's the problem for Cleveland. And, you know, I've tried to use a lot of real-life examples from my personal life, and there's, you know, my colleagues think I'm making people up. So in this instance, I will just use a hypothetical, not someone I actually know. But when we talk about the Browns and a pursuit of Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, sounds a little bit to me like a guy who is, you know, off and on employed, not that good-looking, who's saying to you, hey, you know what? I think I might be leaving my wife. And you're like, really? Why? It's like, well, heard Rihanna just moved up the street. It's like, hey, buddy, I know maybe she's a little annoying at times and the fire isn't what it once was, but let's just remember who you are, where you are, and more importantly, where you were. Because can we show those Baker stats again that Jenna showed at the beginning? Those look bad unless you know, watched the Browns the 20 years before he got there. Those would be greatest quarterback of this century for the Browns. So here's the problem if you're Cleveland. They've gotten on this treadmill a bunch. Since '99, they have spent 4, prior to Baker, first-round picks on quarterbacks. Those quarterbacks were Manziel, Whedon, Quinn, Couch. They spent 4 second and third round picks on quarterbacks. Those quarterbacks are Kaiser, Colt, Fry, and Kessler. They also signed a few in free agency. Who are they? Hoyer, Campbell, Anderson, Dilfer. That is the dirty dozen of despair for quarterbacks. So, yeah, Baker hadn't been great. But guess what, Wilds? Aaron Rodgers ain't signing up to go to Cleveland. Cleveland? No. Russell Wilson. Can you imagine the conversation between Russell Wilson? Sorry, Broussard. I know they have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it is the birthplace of Chris Broussard. But still.
He's been in Green Bay for the past 15 years. Come on.
Yeah, which is why if he wants to leave Green Bay, it's not to go to just a slightly larger Green Bay. Again, I'm from Kansas City. I'm not talking trash on the Midwest or the Rust Belt. But can you imagine, Wilds, the conversation between Russell Wilson and Sierra? Honey, I know you're sick of the Pacific Northwest. You want to be in a more cosmopolitan place. I got us out of here. Really? Where are we going? Miami? L.A.? San Francisco? If it doesn't work, Trey Lance? New York? Did the Giants? No, babe. Cleveland. Going to Cleveland. They got a great Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Maybe you'll be in there one day.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're getting. Of course,
that's a good sell.
Wilds, if you can get Russ or Rodgers, then yes, go get Russ or Rodgers. That's as is the case for 26 teams in the league. Other than that, stick with what you know. Like, you're going to draft a quarterback. Okay, you've had great success at that. Actually, you haven't. You've been terrible at it. So I think they're kind of stuck.
Yeah. So I do too. So the Charles Robinson article that we put the headline up used the example of Marcus Mariota and Tannehill. So Marcus Mariota, we're like, they don't know. The Titans didn't know about Marcus Mariota. So they got Tannehill as kind of an insurance policy. Marcus Mariota went south. All of a sudden, they've got Tannehill and they've got their franchise quarterback. So it made me think, Broussard, are we sure it couldn't go the other way? Are we sure that in that analogy that maybe the Browns are the Dolphins and Baker's Tannehill? Getting a little long in the tooth. Tannehill was 30 when the Dolphins got rid of him. Didn't really develop like he wanted. Didn't feel like he could have won a Super Bowl. But all of a sudden, you go somewhere else. That guy's now a franchise quarterback, and we gave up on him. Dolphins still looking for a quarterback. So I am not down on Baker at all. I think the injury hurt him a lot this season. This is just like Russ. Like, guys want to come out and play through injury. They probably should not. But I would be worried about Baker going to a new spot and all of a sudden thriving. And the Browns sitting there like, you know what? We thought we could upgrade our position, and we actually couldn't. Do you have at all optimism that we've yet to see the best from Baker?
I do. Like, I'm not down on Baker either. I'm just saying if I could get Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, or Deshaun Watson, all of whom might be available, I'm doing it. But look, I mentioned he's a game manager. A couple years ago, guess who else was a game manager? Dak Prescott, right? And now he's emerged as a legitimate star. So I do think potentially Baker could become that. And Nick's right, despite his Cleveland bash, and he's right about the other stuff. First time in the playoffs in 18 years. First time winning a playoff game in 26 years. You mentioned how tough Baker is. That's huge in Cleveland. It's a tough, hardcore city. Much tougher than Kansas City, by the way. And Baker could be that guy. So, look, you can keep Baker if you can't upgrade. So I'm with you, Wiles. I'm not just giving him away for, like, you mentioned a Ryan Tannehill type, right? I'm not giving him away to get Teddy Bridgewater or somebody like that.
Correct. And the other, like, the guy who I think fits the Tannehill mold, who we know is going to be available, is just a less attractive Baker. And that's Jimmy G. All the same limitations, just not as good looking as Baker. And by the way, I'll stand by. No, he's actually less attractive than Baker. It's been studied, Wilds. You should look it up, my friend.
Literally the worst take you've ever had. Literally the worst take on the show.
All right, that's fine. I prefer a little ruggedness here. Okay, we can discuss later, Jenna. Let's get to medals. I don't need them bashing Baker because he's not 6'4" with a dimpled chin. Give me a break. Then why isn't Jimmy in more commercials?
Well, he's not.
Suns and T-Wolves. I'm not sure looks is what's driving Baker's commercial industry. Devin Booker was in his bag, 29, 5-5. Phoenix won their 9th straight. They're not 10-3. How about that? But Booker just missing out on a medal. Nick, which three guys did it better last night?
Bronze medal for Kristaps Porzingis in a nice win over Denver. Kristaps, second straight huge game, had 32 over the weekend. Wilds, put this on your meter. Kristaps for Kyrie. It's still sitting out there. Kristaps raising that trade value. Kristaps triumphant return to New York. Kyrie gets to go to Texas. They might elect him governor. Silver medal.
Play with
Jokic,
Jason Kidd.
the defending